the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Pauly Howard, Mike Paulman from Mitch Moss. Jeff Sherman, VP of Risk Management over at the Westgate, joins us now on the Progressive guest line with a mix of some stuff to talk about. And the golf already underway, Jeff, and Abear with the lead. And then you had Zalatoris, who pulled out with an illness already.
Yeah, a rare Wednesday to Saturday because PGA Tour doesn't want to go up against the NFL Conference Championships on Sunday. So some Wednesday golf for us. And, pre-tournament I had Will Zalatoris right near 25-1, and he pulled out this morning right before his tee time with illness. So refund on that. But like you mentioned, Ludwig Oberg, 9-1 favorite. He ended up shooting a 63-9 under today, leading in the first round right now. He played the easy North course, so a little bit more challenging for him tomorrow.
You put up your Super Bowl lines with the potential matchups. Did anything come in early on any side on what the bettors liked on potential matchups?
We haven't taken anything on the sides yet, and we've got Buffalo 4.5 over Washington, Buffalo 1 over Philly, KC 4.5 over Washington, and KC 1 over Philly. The only action we've taken is the Buffalo-Philly game over 47.5 to 48.5. And over in the KC Philly game from 45.5 to 46.5 so far.
Oh, interesting. Oh, I'm surprised by that. Let's say the same scenario plays out as last week. Kansas City wins, they're outplayed, it's ugly, and there's shenanigans again. And then Philly looks great. Could Philly go off the favorite, or will the public say, no, I won't allow it with Mahomes?
I think it would have to take a monumental Philly win, like you're talking 34-7 or something like that, to really sway their power rating from what have you seen from me lately type thing, where you might get Philly 1. Maybe pick, but it wouldn't be much more than that. But it would really take a dominating Philly performance to consider that.
Jeff, I want to ask you about tonight's NBA card. You're considered an NBA expert, a golf expert, many different things, and a great odds maker. Is there anything that stands out in tonight's card? I'm going to preface it with this question. I'm not an everyday NBA bettor, but I've never seen so many double-digit favorites. It seems like the majority of games now, teams are favored by 10 or more. Am I imagining that? Is just anecdotal, or is that true? And then what are your best bets on tonight's card?
Well, part of the thing this year, we've seen it early in the season about tanking for a Cooper flag. And you've got the Nets are the number one culprit of this. So they're missing a bulk of their players tonight at home against the Suns, and the Suns have gone from 10.5 up to 12.5. The Clippers-Celtic game, another double-digit spread, but the Clippers are missing a lot of players coming off a back-to-back. And that's another thing that, when it plays into this and needs to be resolved is less back-to-back games would be better positions for these teams and not have to put so many double-digit spreads in play. So if they can clean up the schedule from that perspective, we might see a reduction in that. As far as tonight's card, I actually haven't been involved with anything. The only thing I leaned to was the Rockets at home against the Cavaliers. Yesterday I was mentioning this on the overnight line with Cleveland -2. It went up to 3, and I thought 3 would be a good take for Houston. I didn't play it, but I do lean that way as Houston at home against Cleveland.
Okay. Don't you think the Hawks seem short at home against Detroit? I like this Atlanta team, and Trae Young's going to play.
Yeah, well, it got bet up to 4 with the news that he's in and a couple of the other players are in. So it was but Detroit's been playing great basketball lately, and they've I think they're right near their season win total already, and we're not even at the All-Star break. So the Pistons with Cade Cunningham have been getting a lot of respect in the spread.
What do you do with Miami's power rating? And when you're going through this situation with Butler, and now there's more to it, is he was just suspended for the second time after missing the team flight.
Yeah, he's just acting like a problem child at this point, and just trying to force his way out, which it looks like it's likely to happen to Phoenix. So we keep lowering it, and even now you got Tyler Hero that's in and out of the lineup. But I raised Miami up to 300-1 for the title. They're totally moving on from Butler, and it looks like a lost cause for this season. It's going to be interesting. I think the team will have some better chemistry once they get past this point, but it's definitely a disruption right now.
Okay, so let's say he gets his wish and goes to Phoenix. What do you do with Phoenix power rating? They're 500 right now.
Yeah, well, I already adjusted their title odds just in anticipation of this happening. I was sitting at 50-1. I went down to 35-1, knocked them for the West from 25 down to 16. I think it will definitely help them. The thing that will hurt them is going up against the younger teams when they actually have to play Oak City or play a team like they did the other night with Cleveland. Their age can't keep up with the younger teams. So they might need some help along the way from another team that can take OKC or someone like that out to make a more favorable matchup for them. I mean, Durant being older, obviously Butler older with his injuries. Booker's the younger guy, but it's still tough against these younger teams.
Where's OKC's power rating going back? Some of these great NBA teams or championship teams, what they've done, covering all these spreads, this incredible record, and they haven't had their two best defensive players together at the same time.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, they have one of the all-time best defensive ratings for them, and you expect, Hartenstein should be back shortly. Chet Holmgren in a few months, you got to add him almost like you're trading for him, just adding him to this team that's doing this stuff. And there's such a large separation between them and the West that when you're looking at the landscape to bet things, there's so much more competition for the Celtics and Cavs, such in the East. And you're talking if Bradley Beal ends up getting moved to Milwaukee and you add him to Lillard and Giannis. So the East is going to be tougher to get out of than it is for the West for OKC.
Follow the money. Pauly and Mike Palm, Visa and the Sports Betting Network. Jeff Sherman, our guest at the Westgate on the Progressive Guest Line. You guys always did an excellent job and always have done a fantastic job with the Super Bowl props. That goes back to Cornegate, the Imperial Palace. Jay has moved on. John Murray now promoted. When do you expect your Super Bowl props to be out?
They're going to be out next Thursday at 7 p.m., so we'll get working on them. We're going to start working on them on Sunday as the games are going on and all the way throughout, but next Thursday at 7 p.m., and we always get a great response at that time.
Okay, excellent. How about some landing spots? How bad was the safety in the Chiefs game?
And that was the worst number that we could ask for with 9. I mean, we were sitting less than 9 for a while, and at the end it got up to 9.5. And that's the one number that we didn't want. And there's been a few of them that have landed. The Bills total landing 52, and we've seen a few during the playoffs that have been a little bit troublesome.
Oh, was Bills Ravens landing 52 was worse or?
No, it wasn't worse
okay.
Because the side's always going to be worse than a total. But yeah, it was the Chiefs one. That safety really put basically most people that wagered on the game should have won it.
Yes, absolutely. So what if he makes the field goal and it lands 8?
8 would not have been good. That would have been pretty much disastrous for us too. I mean, we got as low as 7.5, and a lot of public money at the end at minus 7.5, and the sharps were taking 9.5, 8.5. So 8 would have been our worst number if that, in fact, would have landed, and it really should have.
Yes, and Monday night, what if Ryan Day, they run the clock out and the Buckeyes win by 8?
Yeah, that's just it. It would have been something we would not have liked to see. So let's just put it that way.
Another bad spot. Oh, my God. Incredible weekend. Good to catch up with you, my friend.
I have a question.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
I want to ask a reporting kind of a question for Jeff. Jeff, between the late 60s through the 80s, the U.S. and USSR had a period of détente. With, as Paul mentioned, with Jay moving into a different role and our friend John Murray now in charge at the Westgate, is this signaling a period of détente between VSiN and Westgate?
Well, I've got a lot of friends over at VSiN, so you'll catch me here once in a while.
Thanks, Jeff.
There you go. Well done, my friend. Talk to you soon.
All right, thanks, guys.
There you go. And he got the Guinness last week, too, for the Tiger Woods bet. That comes in well. Good question. Well, very good.
Right.
Yeah.
It's beneficial for both.
Yes. So how was it the same?
8 was the worst number on Monday night for us.
Uh-huh.
The field goal saved us about 15% of the loss, having Ohio State cover all the numbers instead of that 8.
Okay. Safety?
Safety was no good. Safety was the worst number.
What if he makes the field goal, puts it on 8?
It's still better. It's still better than 9.
Okay. How about Bill?
How could you lose that game?
I can't believe. Yeah,
nobody.
ridiculous.
Look, nobody laid more than 9, and nobody took less than 9, basically.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So
right.
There's no bets to win.
Bills Ravens falling 52.
I agree with Jeff. The total wasn't as big of a factor. We went to the Bill. We needed the Bills. We were heavy to the Bills. We had a lot of Ravens money here.
Mm. That was incredible. Then the Rams game.
And
That
then
was
a
all
six.
over the place,
Every
too,
number,
and comes
then a
6. I know, yeah.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. Was that bad?
No, it was okay.
What if it's 7?
7, no. Don't
Okay.
want 7.
7 would have been bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, he misses the extra point
Right.
again.
Again, 2.
You can't
he
trot
missed
him
2.
out there. Okay. Hurts limited at practice. Mitchell limited at practice, and we'll know more tomorrow from Sal Pell as checking out the Eagles as well. Very good. We're getting ready for Big Game 59 with a big deal in the match. Save $59 off VSiN Pro annual subscription when you sign up using promo code FTM. Become a VSiN Pro annual subscriber. Bet smarter all year long with full access. Every best bet, every host, every guest, the betting splits, the 24/7 video access, all the betting guides as well. Don't miss out on the big game deal. VSiN.com/subscribe. Promo code FTM. $59 off the VSiN Pro annual subscription today. It's incredible. Every day you go up there, there's so much, whether it's every single sport, Nigel on soccer, the NBA prop analyzer, the NFL prop analyzer, Cohen on the NBA, Mackin with his betting systems, Adam Burke on football, Adam Burke on college hoops, Peterson on hoops. So much stuff up there every single day at VSiN.com. Up next, we'll get to top bottom. There's some great stuff in hockey, some great stuff in college basketball as well. We'll run it down coming up next, and we'll talk to our good friend Mike North. Polarizing topic here with Ben Johnson to the Bears. He was introduced today. He got the standing ovation from the Bears organization when he walked into the facility. We'll see what Mike North, Chicago radio legend, thinks of Ben Johnson to the Bears. All that coming up straight ahead. VSiN, Follow the Money, the sports betting network, live from Circa, Sirius XM Channel 158.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, back at it for your big announcement. Thanks to everyone who participated and played in Jansanity. We're going to do this every year, and thanks to the sponsors as well. 5 listeners, viewers, went 11-0 ATS. Incredible job. But remember, if you looked at the rules, if there's a tie, you had to draw it out of a hat with a random drawing. Incredible job for the $5,000. Chet Gartner, Russ Ollinger, Josh Barker, Diana Fukakusa, Ed Ibarra, if I'm pronouncing that right. Congratulations. That's awesome that you were able all to go 11-0 ATS and Jansanity. And phenomenal job by everyone. Thanks for participating and being in this as well. And I hope we do more of these, bigger and better in the future, onward and upward. Excellent job. That's incredible what you did, ATS, all of you.
Yeah, congratulations. Now, earlier, off air, COO of VSiN, Bill Adee, was in here, and we leaned on Bill a little bit. I said, it's a little tough. You go 11-0, you get nothing. One person wins, you have 4 losers.
Yeah.
So for the 4 people not drawn next, Bill Adee's going to throw in 3-year subscription free. 3-year subscription. That's a $300-something value, right? $330.
Dinner at Barry's,
so,
too?
well, just the appetizers would be the same amount. But all right, Paul, you're going to do the honors here, Paul.
You want me to pull it?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
I work here.
Okay.
You're just...
Jansanity winner, I'll hand it to you.
Okay.
Take it away, Maestro.
All right. And our first ever Jansanity champion for $5,000. What would the odds have been made that it would be a female before the tournament? Diana does it.
Whoa!
Diana Fukakusa, you are our $5,000 winner. 11-0. Congratulations. And to Chet, Russ, Josh, and Ed, 3-year free subscription to VSiN.
All right.
Very nice. Well done.
And Sagan Osdeli. Excellent job. Good job. All right. Good job, Diana. How about that?
Well done, Paul.
Let's hit every demographic.
Yeah.
Probably likes the dog videos. All right. Excellent. Let me start with the hockey first. With the best numbers, ROI, and I'll give you everything here from going the first 10. Washington, most profitable, up 16 units betting on the Capitals. $100 bet every game, you're up 16 units. Montreal, plus 1365. Minnesota, plus 925. Nashville, actually won a few games. They are now the second worst ROI. Islanders down 18 units and change. after they have been stumbling and bumbling. Why did they get rid of who's the coach?
Barry Trotz?
Yeah. What the back-to-back conference championship?
That's all right. They could do
finals,
better.
I mean, ridiculous. Nashville down 18 units and change as well. The Devils down 15-30, and the Bruins down 10 units. Top over teams, Columbus 29-16-2 to the over. Pittsburgh 29-18-2 to the over. New Jersey 34-13-2 to the under, including an 18-2-1 under run. Ridiculous what they're doing. It's insanity. That's not getting enough attention. And I'm glad Jonathan Davis and others pointed that out today. Anaheim 30-15-2. Dallas 29-14-4. Ottawa 11 of 12 and a 28-13-4 record for the season. Overruns, the Blackhawks 11-2-1. Toronto 10-2-1. Dallas also was on a 13-2-1 underrun. Goal in the first 10. Buffalo 15 of 18 at home. Chicago 15 of the last 17 at home. Pittsburgh 13-2 run at home. Toronto 10-2 run at home. Boston 8 of the last 9 at home. Seattle 6 in a row at home. On the road, Edmonton 18 of 21 on the road. Philly 20 of 24. Montreal 6 in a row. Seattle 5 in a row. Maple Leafs 10 of the last 12. Detroit 10 of 13. It's all on the road. Overall, goal of the first 10. Detroit 16 of 18. Toronto 17 of 20. 11 in a row for Seattle. 12 of 13 for Chicago. 11 of 12 for Philly. 10 of 11 for Boston. 7 of 8 for Dallas. 10 of 12 for St. Louis. Great job, Ian Duncan and Chris Otto putting all those together. College hoops. Best teams ATS. Houston Christian 14-3 ATS. Beating the cover by 5 points per game. Omaha 14-4. I got my eye on this team, Maestro. Cal Irvine. They took out UC San Diego the other day on the road. It's at a hell of a team, and they were off to a good start and won at Utah State, I believe. Cal Irvine could run the table.
They won at Utah State.
No. They beat UC San Diego, who did. Ran them out of their own building. And they're like 16, 17-2 on the season. I wouldn't be surprised if Cal Irvine runs the table in the Big West. You get like a 10 or an 11 seed when it's all said and done. They're 14-4 ATS. San Jose State. It's a tough place to play because there's no atmosphere. And they're 14-4 ATS and upset New Mexico and handed them their only conference loss. Also got the money against Utah State. Idaho State 10-3 ATS. That's the best. Worst teams ATS. Sam Houston 3-13. Arkansas. Calipari, 4-14 ATS. Miami 4-14. Northern Kentucky 5-14. Alabama A&M 4-11. Weber State, the Fighting Damian Lillards 4-11-1 ATS. Best over teams. Here we go with the Summit League again, Maestro. Right? South Dakota 15-2 to the over. Look at the average, by 12 points per game, flying over the total. North Florida 14-3. North Dakota 14-4. Indiana State 14-4. UNC Asheville 10-3-2. Cornell 10-3-2, and Delaware 13-4. Best over teams. How about there you go? Best under teams. Kansas is 15-2 to the under this year. They're in action tonight against TCU. Last check it was 134.5. Cincinnati 15-3 to the under. St. Louis 13-3. Wagner 11-3-1. Evansville 14-4. The association. Yep, go ahead.
I'd like to throw in this college discussion UIC back into this mix.
I think they're 14-4.
12-4 against the spread, including the last 9.
Okay,
they're
good.
9 in a row, and they're at Evansville tonight. You just mentioned Evansville with the totals, but I think they've adjusted the number quite a bit now. They're laying 5.5 at Evansville. In that 9-game cover run, 7 in a row had been his dogs.
Really?
Yes. Then the last 2 they've been favorites and 1 and covered, including 1 in over. They needed to get to overtime to cover.
Very good.
Anyhow, 12-4 is pretty.
Damn right.
Not snazzy.
Leading the way, no surprise. Cavs and OKC. Cleveland is 29-13 ATS. OKC with huge point spreads. Still 27-13-3. ATS. Memphis 28-15. The Clippers 26-16. Houston 24-17-1. I'm playing against them tonight. I'm playing against the Pistons rather, but Jeff Sherman thinks that's a good game, as Maestro does as well, with the number one team going against Houston. Sixers, the worst ATS team in the league, 13-27-2. ATS, humbled, embarrassed in Denver again last night.
144 they give up.
Yes, asinine.
What were they chanting? Where's Embiid?
Where's Embiid? Only twice in the last 11 years he's played there, whatever it is. Suns, 14-27-1. Ooh, ugly. They need Butler. Kings, 16-22-4. Wizards, that's as hard to do because they're big dogs in these games. Still, 16-24-2. ATS. The Celtics, 17-25-1. Best over teams. Cavs, 28-14 to the over. Memphis, 27-16. Likewise, Denver. Atlanta, 26-16. The Pelicans, 25-18. Best under teams. Clippers, there you go. Great job defensively. Where are my notes? They are number 2 in the league in defense. But to put this in perspective, OKC number 1, allowing 103.2 points per 100 possessions. The Clippers are 107.5. That gap is huge. About the same last check between like 2 and 12. Nuts. Clippers 26-15-1 to the under. The Hornets 24-15 to the under. Orlando 27-18. Boston, bit of surprise, 25-18. And the Warriors 24-18 to the under. Great job to the crew. That's top bottom. We do it every week. Thanks to Derek Stevens. VSiN fans, you're in luck. Derek Stevens is offering you 15% off at 3 incredible properties: Circle Las Vegas, the D Hotel, and Golden Gate. Whether you're lounging by the pool or enjoying all the excitement Vegas has to offer, you'll save big with promo code VSiN15. Book your 2025 stay now, CircleLasVegas.com. Use VSiN15 to get 15% off. Your Vegas adventure starts here. CircleLasVegas.com, code VSiN15. Any of the properties, don't forget Golden Gate as well. 119 years old, and the beautiful suites they have, and get the penthouse as well. If you got a big group coming, they got the grill, 6 TVs in there, and the best shower you're ever going to have at the penthouse at the Golden Gate. Up next, we go to Chicago. Mike North, what does he think of Ben Johnson to the Bears, and can he turn Caleb Williams and this offense around? That's straight ahead on Follow the Money on Sirius XM Channel 158.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Oh, this is going to be a good time now. Back, baby. Pauly Howard, Mike Paulman from Mitch Moss. Time now for Chicago sports radio legend Mike North. North to North on X. Ben Johnson, the new head coach of the Bears. We can throw a lot of stuff at him because a lot of Chicago teams in the news, some of them for all the wrong reasons. As he joins us now on the Progressive Guest Line. How you doing, sir? Great to talk to you.
Good to talk to you, Pauly, and of course, it's good to talk to the Maestro. How you guys doing?
We're great, Mike. We're great.
Doing great. We got to see you soon. Come out and visit. First things first, how surprised were you that the Bears got this done?
I'm surprised by the money that's reportedly being offered, $13 million a year. First year head coaches make $8 to $9 million a year. Even if Johnson thought he had no shot of winning with the Bears, the fact that if he gets a 4 or 5 year deal, he signed for $5 million over the market price, that's another $25 million. So the Bears actually went out and spent money. Now, did they overspend? He's the 10th ranked paid coach now and has never been a head coach in a game in his life. And he's going to be making more than John Harbaugh and other coaches who have actually been to Super Bowls and stuff like that. So a lot's riding on this. I saw the press conference, and I'm trying to figure out if he's here to coach a whole football team or if he's here to just coach Caleb Williams. I know they got all their eggs in Caleb Williams' basket, guys, but he's got to coach defense. He's got to coach offense, and he's going to be a coordinator in the worst passing arena in fourth quarters in the National Football League, Soldier Field, for his home base. No more dome, They played every game except, I think, 2 or 3 in a dome this year. So there's going to be all sorts of obstacles that he's going to confront, including he can't bring the Detroit Lion players with him, and that the weather in Chicago is going to be a factor, and that he is not going to have the comfort of a dome. On the other end, everybody's excited for the most part, but I wanted either Carroll, McCarthy, or Kingsbury, because they are a mess, and you need somebody who's been there, who's done that, who needs to change the culture. And I really am worried about this, but we'll see what happens. His mentors, he said today his mentors are John Shoup, who was the offensive coordinator for the Bears for 1 year. Mike Martz was another mentor, offensive coordinator for the Bears for 2 years and fired. And Darren Bevel, 2 years, Detroit Lions, offensive coordinator, and fired. Adam Gase, he is a huge fan of Adam Gase, 1 year as a Bear offensive coordinator and fired. So if you're going by his mentors, this doesn't look pretty. But if you're going by what he actually did in Detroit, then let's hope it's all right. But $13 million a year, guys, he's going to be expected to probably work some miracles early, and they need 7 to 10 players. This is not a good football team to begin with.
Mike, I'm 100% with you. From all reports that we get, he's not a charismatic leader, and there's a big step from being a coordinator to being a head coach. Yep. And I have the same reaction to the press conference. Can you imagine Jimmy Johnson coming in and said, I'm here to be Troy Aikman advocate? You're here for 55 guys and an ownership group and a fan base. You have to appeal to all of it. You have to manage all of it. But how much does he have going against him in Chicago between the ownership, the president, and the GM? I mean, he made that decision. The Raiders offered him $8.5 million. The Bears came over the top for 13. I think he's got a lot of challenges from within as well.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And I think that basically he would have taken the Raider job if the money was equal. Yeah. There's no doubt. Upstairs with the Raiders is more solid. You only answer to basically one man, really. You're answering to Mark Davis. With the Bears, just the way they interviewed him. Pauls interviewed him for a half an hour. Then he goes and sits down with Kevin Warren and George McCaskey for an hour. Then they all get together. And I'm hearing Paul saying, we were just bouncing ideas. I'm going, this doesn't sound like your typical football team or championship team. He never mentioned, going to the Super Bowl. He's already trash talking with the Detroit Lions.
Yep.
So, Paul's trash talked 3 years ago and said, we're going to take over the North and never give it back. Well, he's 15-36, and he's picking out the groceries. So we are sort of on eggshells as far as his hiring is concerned, because you're right. He acted today like he was going to be the offensive coordinator for Caleb Williams, and not that he was going to be coaching a National Football League charter franchise in the Chicago Bears.
Does this remind you of Nagy a little bit? That you're promised a lot and you expect creativity and imagination?
Well, the one thing that I'll give him, Nagy did coach outdoors. I think that's huge. When Peyton Manning would have never had the records he had if he played outdoors. Playing in a dome is huge. But I look at what's going on here, and I just think there's too many Chiefs and not enough Indians, Paul. Just too many Chiefs upstairs. I wanted McCarthy, or I even wanted Kingsbury because he works for the Bidwells. And you know what? This is a really dysfunctional football front office. There's no doubt about it. So I'm 50-50. I'm 50-50, and I'll give the guy every opportunity. But he reminded me of a guy that played for the Chicago Bulls who's coaching, who coached us for a year or two, Fred Hoiberg. He reminded me of him today.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. Oh. Reminded me of a gentle type of guy. You're coaching the Chicago Bears. And, first-year coaches, they said they weren't going to go that route, guys. And what they did was, this is my fourth since 2020. You had Nagy, you had Eberflus, Thomas Brown, and Ben Johnson, all first-time head coaches. And I know Brown was an interim, but I'm just giving the whole spiel here. 4 first-time coaches. How's that worked out?
Mikey, I know you're a betting.
Nagy, I like Nagy better than Ben Johnson in a way because Nagy studied under Reed, and but I guess when you're hot, you're hot. I mean, I can't believe these guys. I mean, they got a chance to maybe win the Super Bowl next year. They both left. I mean, if you're Detroit, you have to be crushed right now. I mean, we would have been crushed if Buddy Ryan left in '84.
Yes.
Before we would have been absolutely crushed. So I know how the Detroit Lion people are feeling, even though Aaron Glenn is a little. They had they had the other coach who's the same thing. They just hired the same exact coach, except he's Aaron Glenn. It's Robert Saleh.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
You know?
How important do you think it was that Sosa and the Cubs kind of came together and made peace, and Sosa kind of admitted that he was up to no good?
Well, he really didn't come out and apologize. He basically is a serial cheater. I mean, he had a corked bat.
Yes, he did.
I mean, this guy had a corked bat. So, you know, we knew he cheated all along. And the people in Chicago, and I'm not excited about him. And, you know, I liked Sammy. I interviewed him when he weighed 180 pounds with the White Sox in 1990, 91, 92, somewhere around there, before he came to the Cubs. And all of a sudden he ballooned up like that and became an instant star. Nobody benefited more by steroids than Sammy Sosa. I promise you. Barry Bonds could play.
Yeah.
Clemens could pitch. Sosa was a 240 hitter with limited power, period.
Hey, yeah, my dad used to say, Mike, that he hit all his home runs when they were up 6 or down 7. I want, before we let you go, this is sort of nationally quietly passing under the radar because of all the news that's going on in the playoffs and the college championship. But speak to us about Jeff Torborg, who passed away this week. Truly an underrated manager in my mind. Got along with him great, interviewed him numerous times, was a great manager for the White Sox. Ozzie Guillen basically was almost in tears. Torborg taught him a lot about managing when Ozzie played for him. Torborg gave him a lot of confidence. Jeff was a soft-spoken guy. His kid went to Northwestern, but a heck of a manager, a good catcher, a good defensive catcher. Back in the day, catchers, except for Johnny Bench and maybe Manny Sanguilla and some other guys, they didn't hit like they do now, or they were just good defensive catchers. He was a good caller of games, and he was a heck of a manager. He really was, and never wanted the spotlight. Always gave the credit to the players.
The White Sox win total's 51.5. Over or under?
Well, the fact that, I can't even, that sounds so like you're making it up. You know what I mean? I played Little League ball. I think we won more. I got to go under.
Oh, my God. Oh.
Yeah, they don't have anybody. They signed some guy named Chico Mamomba, and everybody, they act excited.
Yeah. I don't get it either. Say hi to Dick Portillo.
You know what? If Dick Portillo wanted to buy the White Sox, I'd talk him out of it, for God's sake. Are you kidding me?
Great to talk to you, Mike. Great appearance. Thanks, my man.
I appreciate it, guys. God bless you. And say hi to Mitch for me, okay?
You got it. Mike North, the legend in Chicago.
Take care, Mikey.
Oh, so good. Great answers. He knows his stuff. Brought his A game with the Ben Johnson. He watched the whole press conference. All fair points. What we're betting. In pocket. Up next in the miracle Mike had. Coming up on Follow the Money.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3 to 1 odds. Nope. 5 to 1. Nope. 10 to 1. You're on.
All right, it was set up beautifully. Oh, damn. Detroit and Philly go in the first 10. Detroit was on a 16-1 run. The Flyers had done it 11 in a row. Bupkis. Nothing. Not even a sniff, as Palm said. No good. And it was as high as 220 at DraftKings. Chiefs money line. I'm a Sal, pal. Vito's son. Got to prove it to me first. Can Buffalo go there and win in the playoffs? Can the Bills win a big game? Marv Levy's not walking through that door. Can you get it done? And you got to beat the officials, too. That's the other thing. Commanders plus 5.5. And let me give you more on this. Kelsey over 67.5, 69.5, depends where you shop. In the last 14 playoff games, this is Kelsey. 117, 93, 116, 75, 71, 81, 78, 98, 95, 96, 108, 133, 118, 109. Look what he's at. Low 60s. It's an average, high 60s. It's an average of 99 yards for one of the best big game players in NFL history. Good one there, Joe Osborne. That is nuts. How he delivers every postseason game. And he's gone over this number 14 in a row. And what he did last week, going for 100 yards, and he's plus 325 here to have 100 yards.
Will you ladder this up? Will you take alt numbers over with Kelsey as well?
Yeah. Now, it's interesting what our guest said off the air from Kansas City. Something along the lines of, I don't think they're good enough to hold something back. Like in the past, maybe they could do it. Because I asked them, why no Hopkins? Why no Brown? But it just, okay, like Mahomes told them, they took him away. They weren't there. Well, why would you leave Kelsey wide open?
Because of the slow-mo. They thought they could run him down.
Hawks laying 3.5 tonight against the Pistons. Trae Young will play. I know it's not a great sports town, but there is a home court advantage there because of the nightlife. And you get in some trouble. And anyways, Atlanta's 22-20 and in first place. And playing good ball with a nice resume of late. Swept Cleveland, beat Boston on the road, and Dalton Kincaid over. 34.5 receiving yards. Kansas City has a ton of issues stopping the tight ends. Horrendous against tight ends. I think Kincaid gets his in the AFC title game. Cook 'em, Maestro.
All right. We got two winners last night.
No problem.
No issues. Down 5-1 early in the second. You got Georgiev in the other net. Never panic. When it got to 5-3, I thought there was life. It turned it off at 5-1.
Yeah, okay.
But we cover. Predators puck line $1.40. And then the very good game in Montreal. Look, watch the home ice advantage for this team now. That arena was buzzing. 1-0 Lightning in the first. They scored to take a 2-0 lead. Montreal counters. Ties it before the end of the second. Then a goal with 3 minutes to go. 3-2 final. Canadians under 6.5. Also covered under in the first period. Pending is, we like the Commanders. We're with Sal Pal taking the 6 against the Eagles on Sunday. 2 plays for tonight. Go back to the ice. Florida Panthers. I think they're the best team in hockey. They don't have the best record in hockey, but I do think they're the best team in hockey. They are second place in the Atlantic Division, trailing the Leafs right now. Got the job done last night at the Duck Pond in Anaheim. They go up the street now to take on the Kings, who are reeling a bit. Got shellacked early in that game against Pittsburgh at home the other night. I'll take the Panthers. I don't care if it's Spencer Knight. You can shop this number. It's anywhere between 104 and 111, but I can't get 111 where I'm at. So plus 107 with the Panthers. And then I'm going to go with Chris Beard here. I don't think Ole Miss has played a bad game yet this year. Texas A&M not 100% healthy. Ole Miss laid the 3 now. 3 at home tonight against the Aggies.
Horse racing action heating up in South Florida with the $3 million Pegasus World Cup on Saturday, January 25th. And our friends over at First Bet have you covered with everything you need to hit big. Sign up for a new First Bet account. Promo code VSIN200. VSIN200. Claim a $200 sign-up bonus. Plus, download their free Pegasus World Cup wager guide. You get up to $10 back when your horse runs second or third in the biggest races at Gulfstream. Head over to firstbet.com. Promo code VSIN200. Tell that story again of what happened at the track. Because we were talking about your miracle win with Nashville, and because everyone wants to hear about bad beats. But we got into your lucky wins, and a great response, and thanks to a lot of people who sent stuff in. It was excellent. Can you retell the story, what happened?
I was sitting in off track in Maryville, Indiana. This had to be 2001, maybe 2002. I would go there in the daytime, and we're betting some trotting tracks. And there was a group of 4 or 5, 6 people, a couple couples, and I could see they were playing Woodbine. Now, at that time, Woodbine ran thoroughbreds or flats during the daytime, and then they would come back with the night card, was the trotters, harness racing. These people were playing. I really wasn't paying much. They seemed like a nice group. I'm doing my own thing. But I just looking up on the screen, no race was going. Here's the last race at Woodbine. And it caught my eye because at the top of the stretch, the top 4 horses were all bombs. 60-1, 18-1, 45-1. And as they came down the stretch, these people started standing up. They started cheering. They started screaming, jumping up and down. And the 4 bombs come across the finish line. 60-1. I think 18 or 12-1 in third was the shortest price. So they were there. I walked up to them. I said, "What did you guys get?" They said, "We hit the super, 10-cent super." They said, "We're going to get the whole pool." So they wait. They're buying drinks for everybody. They post the price, $32,000 for a dime. They post the price. They're buying food, drinks for everyone around. It was so nice. They're celebrating. We're happy for them. What a great story. Here comes 3 or 4 minutes later. They're up at the window, and now voices start getting raised. Call for security over there. The rider, even though they had been playing Woodbine Thoroughbred all day, gave them the last race of the harness meet at night with their ticket. So they were dead. They had no claim on it at all. They didn't check their ticket. But, I mean, that's a ton of money to think you had won. Plus the 200 plus you blew dry buying drinks and food for everybody. They were just sick. These people were absolutely sick. I'm sure the rider felt very bad. The guy picked up a chair at one point. He was going to hit the guy over the head. It's truly a tragic betting story. I wanted to, Paul, we talked about Clete Blakeman assigned to the game. And by the way, Ron Torbert, the lawyer, will be doing the Super Bowl.
Right, yep.
How about Vinovich? Doesn't even get a championship game this year. It was up to me. Vinovich would do every Super Bowl. I know they do on a rotation.
Yep.
But they put Sean Hockley on the game in Philly. Why this is very strange to me is Sean Hockley is the ref that was involved in the last seconds of that game in New Orleans with Washington, where they put extra time on the clock because they, for no reason, stopped the clock on a live ball situation, and they had another play at the goal line. Remember, Brad Allen didn't get one Detroit game this year after that whole kerfuffle they had about reporting the tackle eligible with Dan Campbell. They kept him away from Detroit games. I'm very surprised they gave Hockley a Commanders game in the NFC Championship.
I don't like it.
I do say for people that handicap the officials, remember these are all mixed crews. It's not one crew. Much like the National Championship game, mixed crews from different conferences. So the angles get a little bit weaker, but the head man involved is very important. So just some thoughts there.
Selection Sunday is March 16th. Lenardi thinks Duke will be the number 1 overall seed. It's about putting the season's best record in front of the selection committee. And among the current contenders, Duke is far and away in the best position to do that. They will be double-digit favorites in up to 11 of their remaining 13 games and are still solid favorites in the other 2 at Clemson against Illinois at Madison Square Garden. How about that? As good as Auburn's playing, but he still thinks it'll be Duke. He has Auburn a 1.
How about Iowa State?
He has Iowa State a 1. Mm-hmm. He has Duke a 1. And he has Alabama a 1. How many does he have? He has 12 in from the SEC. Oh, my God.
Deep?
10 from the Big Ten.
Ooh.
I don't know about that.
That's too many.
12 from the SEC.
Where does he have Michigan and Michigan State seated? 3s?
It's got Gonzaga 7. Oh, my God.
See, he's complaining about everything now. See him crying again the other night about the late time start. They stop giving up 100 points, Gonzaga.
Michigan State a 3, Michigan a 5.
Oh, good hire by Michigan, Dusty May. Very good hire.
Mississippi State a 4 seed.
How about Ole Miss?
It's got St. John's a 7. I got to look for it.
I got A&M at 80-1. I do think this is at tournament time. This older team will be tough.
It's got Ole Miss a 4 seed.
All right,
good. Just checking it out. It's interesting. Utah State today. Boy, that'd be typical Utah State. They're in an 8-9 game and they get Auburn. Oh, man, incredible. All right.
Mitch needs to get some ginger. Ginger and honey help his throat a little bit here.
Sure. I think he's back tomorrow. He's booking guests.
He's booking guests.
Well,
what a
hanging me out to dry.
Submarine job if he's not coming back. Wow.
All right, VSiN Prime Time. Von Tobel and Murray up next. Zach Cohen, Mike Randall, sticking out, cashing out. Joe Sorrell, 11 p.m. Eastern. Great job, Maestro.
Congratulations, Diana Fukakusa.
5 Gs, baby. Great job. Take it home.